Hey everybody, it's me again, Greg, Keen Web Consulting. Guess what my last name is? You already know. It's on the site, for crying out loud. It's right there. Here's one for you. A contact information. Like that? I like that. Contact information. But remember, Eastern Standard Time. You call me on these times, I'm most likely not going to get your phone call. Have my phone shut off or whatever. On silent, vibrate, doesn't matter. It's not running at that time past those points, so you'll have to leave a message. Well, let's see here. This tutorial that we're going to do is a little bit of security awareness. Yes, security awareness. Keep your site free of MySQL injections. And to do that, check pages like this. Anything that gets its variables from a database to populate on the actual page needs to be tested. You need to make sure that you don't have any undeclared variables. That way people can't hop in there, get your variable names, and manipulate them as they wish. You do not want that. Alright, so here we go. Where am I going to start for you guys? Ah, yes. Okay, so there's a thing you can do. Little line of code. Check it. See, I already did it before. ID equals sleep 30 seconds. And what that does is it's supposed to make your site take like 30 seconds to load. So it's a querying the database to postpone the loading process or something like that. But as you can see, it didn't. It didn't take 30 seconds. It just loaded. You can also try sleep equals 30 seconds. I don't think that'll do anything either. Nope. Okay. I think it's just sleep 30 seconds. I don't know if we have to end the variable or not. Nope. It doesn't matter. Yeah, just try that one right there. Just sleep 30 seconds. ID equals or Bob's your uncle equals. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. You're just making this equal sleep 30 seconds, which is a check your database sort of feature. I don't know how else to put it. Basically, if you have a connection to your database, it will ask the database to make your site take that long to appear. Easy enough. You can do this on a test server. You don't have to do it on a live server. I wouldn't suggest it for the short line of code you can get to make sure that your site can't be hacked into. Just basically it looks for the first username in the database, which is usually the admin, and puts them into the fields for a login and tries to of course hack the site by using those already populated variables. But I don't think that will work when you close the MySQL. But if they get a hold of your variables, they can do pretty much the same thing in a very roundabout way. And you want to avoid that like the plague. So we're going to show you how to avoid that. And that is by doing something. Let's go to tutorials, this page better. Like so. So you got a list of all my things here, and that's both pages. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start by trying to change this variable and hit enter. It says, please stick to link navigation. Sorry, your query is not allowed. So basically, no matter what I do after this, it's going to say, after this .php, it's going to say this because I filled in the variable with an else condition. That's what we're going to show you. See, if I delete this whole thing and hit enter, it still says the same thing. Alright, go back to profile. No, tutorial. Hopefully this isn't freezing things up too much. I know you'll still hear the audio, so that's awesome. Go back to the video, and if you go to an ID we don't have. It says no video present. Sorry, there is no video with that ID. There you go. Also an else condition. Let's go back to the home page, right? And here's simply how you do the else condition. Say you put those down on the page, like you put the dynamic link or dynamic list. This is from the test area, of course, that we had in the previous videos. Basically what I'm saying is, if you have multiple values, if they're not all in this else condition, you're going to get a variable error. This such and such variable is undefined, doesn't have a value. So as long as you put those in here and give them a value, it'll shoot down on the page and say, here's your value. So that way people can't see what you called your variables. Yeah, that's very important. It is very important to not let people see your variables and what they're called. After all, as you all know, PHP cannot be viewed in view page source anywhere. It's not in here. I mean, it's just my generated page. There's no PHP in here whatsoever. Alright? So it will only populate values because it's server-side coding. That's the difference between JavaScript and PHP. JavaScript is user-side, so anybody can see it. JavaScript. Woo! And that's why JavaScript form validation is crappy. Don't do it. Don't use it. Just let it go. Find a good server-side code you like and start programming them that way. Right. Okay, so yeah, like this, you know, stuff like this. Or I'm going to try to put some sort of link in here and give you fake name, fake phone number, and fake email. Okay? So I'm going to give you all this fake stuff, and I'm going to hide a link inside stuff. Doesn't matter where, really. And try to send it to you. Oh, see? PHP validation. Just catches everything as long as you do it to the fullest extent. And if you don't do a real email, it will catch that too. See? The email required. Yeah, I did a little bit of separation, so it won't tell you if what you have in here is acceptable until you fill out these fields completely. Same thing with this one. It won't tell you if it's acceptable until you have all the other fields. Yeah, incompletely. See, it's there, so it's not registering as bad. But like I said, if I put an email in here, this is all security too, so I can state this stuff in here. And this is just form validation security, so see, too long, or too short. And that's the last thing to get done. So if you finally make it what it's supposed to be, I think you already saw that. Pick this one, I think. Yeah, okay. It just goes back to the last one and says, hey, that's not right. Yeah. Here we go. Back to normal. My eyes are a bit dry again, of course. Always. Every day, every time. We just can't win. So, yeah, anytime you have this connection script, one, make sure that you're closed at the end. Always close it at the end. Close it at the end because if you close it in the middle, you cut off the connection and none of your other values are going to populate, which would be bad. Get a broken page. Alright, so always, always, always on the main if condition to any of your queries, put an else and put all the values that you have on your main page and down in here, all these right here, all these variables, Well, not those ones specifically, but this kind of variable right here. Anything that's echoed. These ones can be blank because I programmed them to be able to be blank. Or I just hit it and commented out the errors. I just hit it. Yeah. In this instance, I just hit it. But there are actually errors shooting out on this hidden form that you can't see because it's behind stuff. So that and its test area, so we don't care. But I will tell you a good way to get rid of these specific errors is on the bit of code that spits those out, that generates that list. All you have to do is this. See, parses the form data and enters into the system. No. Nope. It's down further, sorry. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is it. So this one will produce all your errors. And the only way to get rid of that is to comment out that whole block with HTML comment. That way none of those errors that you're going to see will populate. That's something to do on your final stages, as if you were not trying to hide your variables. You will need to be able to see them for testing purposes. Yep. If you have this, you can't see your errors. If you don't have that, then... And the only reason I'm able to use that in that circumstance is, like I said before, I'm hiding it anyway behind there for Internet Explorer. I don't care if the errors appear. So that's why I kind of just went ahead and didn't worry about it this time around. But if I showed you that, you'd see all the errors in Internet Explorer at least. Right. Okay, so that's it. Just make sure no variables are showing on your page. That's the key. That is the 100% the key to anything security with PHP and server-side code. Don't let them see your variables. And be unique with your variables, because if you're not, then you have a very predictable site and people will find out your variables regardless. Yeah, it's pretty much how it goes. So be unique and close them all. Give them all values for every single circumstance. Right. That's all. That's all I got for today. Hope you like my site. It's awesome. I like it. That's all that really matters, I guess. And hope this was very, very informative, and I hope that you learn from it and keep up those kind of practices, because if you're making an e-commerce site or a social media site and you forget these things, ouch. Sorry. I'm sorry. There are too many people out there that are very malicious that will do everything in their power to just break your site. Yeah. So I wish you luck. Dot your I's, cross your T's, and likes are appreciated. Subscriptions are awesome. I will see you next time. Bye.